Hi, before we start this ASMR video, I'd like to thank all these members on my Patreon for their continued support. If you're looking for any content that I create on other platforms, check the link below. Now, let's get into the video. Hi. No whispers in this video. This is going to be... Let's move that out of the way. Nobody wants to see. There we go. Nobody wants to see that. It was a cable. So, this is going to be a talk about a cruise that I just went on. It was Symphony of the Seas. And let me tell you, it was incredible. It blew my shorts off. Not literally, but man, I had an incredible time. It was, let's start from the beginning. It was a 7-day cruise leaving Miami. Took a direct flight there, got there 1 day early, and I stayed in this, sketchy, it was a motel. They advertised themselves as a hotel. So I got there, and let me tell you, it was run down. The rooms smelled like they'd been bleached over 600 times. Police would show up, prostitutes, strippers, hookers. It was not a place that I should have booked. But in Miami, everything costs a lot. So it was the cheapest one, and I just needed to sleep there. So I still think it was about $215 just to sleep in this really crappy motel, as I found out. So the night goes on. I ordered some Five Guys and fries. I mowed down. The TV didn't work. The bathroom, you went to have a shower and there was a window, like there are in most showers. This one was not a frosted window. It was a clear see-through window of the pathway where people can walk by. Big red flag. I should have rebooked, but I just couldn't fathom going to like a $400 hotel for less than 12 hours. Anyways, the next morning comes. I get out of there at like 8. Man, my legs are coming in, eh? You'd think that I'll get on with the story, but like I indulged. My legs look pretty good considering how much I indulged. So the cruise, I get onto the cruise. This is my first cruise, be it, that I've ever been on. Go on a cruise. If you've never been on a cruise, don't wait till you're 65. Go when you can and when it's affordable. Don't go into debt for a vacation. So I get to the cruise. I'm driving along in an Uber, and I look out my right, and I see the ship. I see the port of Miami where all of the cruise ships are. And I see my ship, the Royal Caribbean Symphony of the Seas. I thought that it was the 3rd largest ship in the world. Turns out they built quite a few more. It is now the 5th largest ship in the world. I see it, my eyes, they could not get any bigger. I was shocked. I was like, I'm getting on that? That's the biggest thing that I'll ever have gotten on in my life. So I get there to the cruise ship, and once I get to it, I swear I probably turned into a frozen person, and I just stared at it for like a minute in absolute awe at the absolute sheer size of it. I've never seen something so big in my life. I cannot describe that better than anyways. I check in, I go through all the security checks, I get onto the ship. This is where I'm flabbergasted. I'm I have like minor ADHD, and I can tell you I was the most overstimulated I've ever been in my life getting on that ship, because the vast size of what was inside it. There's like 30 plus restaurants. There's an aqua theater. There's an ice rink. There's water slides. There's restaurants. There's a central park in the center of the boat with like 20,000 trees. And you forget that you're on a bloody cruise ship. Oh, anyways, I find my stateroom beautiful. Not the biggest. I didn't ball out. I didn't want to. I just wanted to. I got it last year on a Black Friday deal, so it was like $1,500 for a week. Not a bad price. So, anyways, I get there, and then the cost of flights and everything. So for like the entirety of the trip, it was only like $3,000 for a whole week of accommodation and literally unlimited food. Unless you got the dining package, which gives you like access to like 5 or 6 hoity-toity restaurants. I didn't care for that. There was like 7 or 8 buffets and like 6 other restaurants that you could go to that were free. So naturally, I didn't need the dining package, nor did I get the drink package. The drink package was nearly as much as the actual cruise for one person. And when you go on a cruise, I went with my partner, you have to get it so I went with my partner and they don't drink. I do. When you go in Royal Caribbean, you cannot buy a single drink package. If you get one, you have to get 2, because they just know you're going to share it with the person that you go with. So it was the price of the cruise to get those drink packages. So I said, no thank you. I just bought like 3 or 4 drinks a day for like $30 to $50. Everything on the ship costs more. A beer is like $10. A nice, single shot drink of like a rum and coke or all those other ones of spirits, they're like $15. So I went there for the enjoyment of the cruise, not to just get drunk every day, because then you forget about it. And it was just, anyways, I can drink at home if I want for a hell of a lot cheaper. So anyways, the stateroom, I check it out. I go up to the food place because I'm starving at this point. It's called the Wind Jammer. Huge. This is where I say I was overstimulated. The size of this buffet, and because it's day 1, everybody is getting on that boat. The amount of people in the Windjammer was disgusting. The amount. So I picked a couple things here and there, and then I skedaddled the hell out of there. I was in and out in no time. And then I went and looked around the ship. Needless to say, I think I got lost on the ship 5 to 8 times on that first day. The amount of floors, there was 16 floors on a ship, and that's not even including the floors on the bottom where the staff and crew, so it's probably closer to like 20. Let's fast forward. We're on day 2. Day 1 was just a write-off in terms of getting used to everything, etc. Day 2. Let's go actually just a little bit. I'm going to go to the evening. So there's the main dining room, which is 3 levels on the boat. And there's the time you could walk in at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, or 9 o'clock. And you can just walk in and hopefully get a seat. Or you can do my time dining. 6:45, and then it's a 2-hour window, and 6:45, 7:45, 8:45, and I think 9:15. So we did that, and so you stay with the same waiter all week if you continue to do the my time dining. So 6:45 is what we did. So each night we sat at the same table. The same waiter would come up to us. They get to know you. It's super personable, and it's like appetizer, main, dessert. They give you a bread basket to start, drinks if you want them. I stuck with water because I didn't have the drink package, and I I like to save my drinks for like when you go to one of the 7 or 8 bars. Actually, it's probably close to like 25, 30 bars on that boat. I always went to the Schooner bar. Very relaxing. Anyways, so day 2, wake up. I believe day 2 is Nassau in the Bahamas. CocoCay. Oh, sorry, no, day 1 was just the Bahamas. Now, we were supposed to go to Jamaica. We were supposed to go to Haiti, but because of the hurricane that had happened in Jamaica, it was off the list. They replaced that with Dominican Republic. And then we were supposed to go to Haiti, but with the drama of the governments and everything going on down there, we didn't. So those turned into sea days. I can tell you, there's lots of seamen on that ship, and sea women. It's insane. I think it was like 8,000 people. Anyways, so we go to Bahamas. We went to Bahamas last October, so honestly, we went into the town for like an hour, and then we just went back to the ship. I was still overstimulated, so I still enjoyed looking around the ship and the boat and eating so much food. Like it was disgusting. I would eat food. Half an hour would go by. I'd see another place. I'd be like, well, I can just eat more food. And I would eat it. And that repeated for 7 days. I can tell you. I gotta be going to the gym really hard and doing some cardio and limiting the amount of food I'm going to eat over the next 3 or 4 weeks. Because that's just not good. Anyways, day 2, Bahamas. That finishes. Go to the My Time Dining. Now, also, there's probably like 100 events going on the boat, and you get an app. You get the My Royal app, and you can schedule, reserve spots to put yourself in the app for events that you want to go to. And then when it comes time, about 25, 30 minutes before the event, you get a notification your event will start soon, and then you can choose to go to it or not. Some of them you can just put in your calendar as scheduled. Other ones you have to actually reserve a spot because there's limited spots. So, man, there were so many good shows. I don't want to give it all away, but like we went to a show called Hairspray. They have a Royal Theatre that holds probably over 1,000 people. Their Aqua Theatre holds probably close to 1,000 people at the back of the boat. Their ice rink probably holds 700 people. I don't know how they fit it all. And it's the 5th biggest ship in the world. I forget what the first one is now. I think the first ship is now, I think it's Icon of the Seas. I believe it's Icon of the Seas. Anyways, day 3 happens. That is a sea day. So we're going to go from Bahamas. Oh no, the next day was Coco Bay. So you go from Nassau, Bahamas to Perfect day at CocoCay. Just search that in like YouTube or something. Perfect day at CocoCay. You'll see the water park that we went to. That island is amazing. You can spend all day there, and that's one of the things that you do have to pay money for if you want to go into the amusement park, which has something like 20 water slides. But the rest of the island is all free to walk around. If you have the drink package, you can get unlimited drinks at all of those bars that they have on the island. Of course, you can spend a lot of money if you want on that island. There were cabanas that you could rent an entire dock with like your private waiter, food, blah, blah. It was like $4,000. There must be some high ballers on that cruise because I was not one of them. I'd like to say I was a high baller, but I'm not spending $4,000 a day for the day to sit on a cabana. No, thank you. That's a whole nother trip somewhere for like 2 weeks potentially. Anyways, the thrill park was amazing. There's zip lines, water slides. We did the water slides and then just hung out, enjoyed the sun. Where are we now? Day 4 was a sea day. That was the first day at sea where we're just cruising all day for like 24 hours straight. And the boat is like a town. It's like a miniature city. And this is where I said I don't know if I'd go on a cruise again, because you can drink, you can eat, and you can sleep in the sun on the chairs. You can go into the pools. Well, I would just eat. That's all I would do. I would eat. I'd have a drink. I would eat. I would have a drink. I would eat. I would have a drink. And this is a bad process for me, because I want to say that, like, I'm physically addicted to food. Like, there's a reason I work out 7 days a week. There's a reason I structure my meals at home, where I meal plan and I have set meals that I eat at the specific type of the day, and it's that much, and that's all you get. Because if I didn't, I just wouldn't be able to control myself. So that's what I do. Okay. So the sea day goes, everybody's getting drunk. The cruise was amazing. If I was to go on another cruise, though, I might look at Virgin. They have adult-only cruises. And the thought of an adult-only cruise sounds very appealing to me, after having been on a boat for 8 days with a lot of kids from aged 3 months to 14. That range is just too overstimulating for me. They were having a good time, as was I. I just took deep breaths when I was like, oh my gosh, all these kids. Anyways, adult-only cruise, Virgin, if that's where you're looking. So, the next day was day 5, which was Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. They also have an amazing amusement park, little island, if you will call it, where if you get off the ship, only people that are part of the ship can get into this area. Because if you go outside of that in the Dominican, and the same thing is in the Bahamas, you'll have everybody and their mother trying to sell you something. Tourists, jet skis, ATVs, blah, blah, blah. And you just get hounded by people following you, which can be also very intimidating. And if that's not something you enjoy, just stick to those parks that are strictly for the Royal Caribbean or other cruises that come in. There's security all around, so nobody can get into those areas, just you. And they're big areas, like you can walk for quite some time. So we did that for a good chunk of the afternoon. Again, we didn't buy any cabanas. We just hung out on chairs, the pools. So much fun. The one thing that's hard is, like, you come back home and you haven't cooked food for 8 days. So you just, like, go to your kitchen holding an empty plate and you're like, oh yeah, I gotta make something. Nobody's gonna serve me. Like, you get your room cleaned every day by the laundry and service staff. Food is made for you every day, unlimited, and unlimited drinks, and everybody does everything for you. It's very nice for 8 days, and you come home and you're like, oh yeah, I have to do all these chores myself. Anyways, then after that we had 2 days at sea, because they removed Haiti from our trip, just due to the government issues that are going on down there. So 2 days at sea. Again, what did I do? I ate a ton of food, a ton of food. I drank a bunch. Met some incredible people there that I would like to say are now friends. We exchanged numbers and everything. So they are people that go on cruises a lot. They're very well versed in everything cruise. I learned a lot from them. I learned a lot. It was super interesting. Just chilled out for those 2 days. Went to some more shows, some comedies, comedians. There was a thing called Royal Quest. Oh my god, I'm having a moment. It's like they do shows that are for adults only, like 18 plus, like comedian shows, naughty shows, like where like the humor or the jokes or the actual events themselves are for adults. They're not for kids, which definitely makes the scene more intimate, because you recognize that all these other adults are understanding of what is going on, and there's no kids. People are just having a fantastic time. So we did that for 2 days. I could go on for this for like an hour, but I'm just giving you sort of cliff notes here. And then we showed up in Miami, back at our port, and then I won't go into too much detail because it was very annoying. Our cruise ended on Sunday around 10 a.m. is when we got off the ship. And we got home Tuesday at 12. What was supposed to be a 10-hour day in terms of flying and like being in airports and stuff turned into a 2-day trek because of cancellations due to airports getting flooded because of weather, which caused us to miss connecting flights, which caused us to have to book a hotel, Ubers. It was terrible. That was a real downer because of the fun that we had, and it just wasn't the best way to end the trip. But now I'm home. I'm speaking to you. I went to the gym. I got home yesterday at about noon, and I was at the gym by about 2. I'd already done all my laundry. I was back in a routine, and I'm back in an eating routine, and it's time to work off some of this little bit of extra that I enjoyed. That's the thing. You can overindulge for a week. It's totally fair. But if I was to do that 365 days a week, we'd need another chair to sit me down in. So when you go on a cruise, just be mindful that it's unlimited food and you're not going to get FOMO. You're not going to miss out on anything because it's still going to be there the next day and the next day and the next day. That's my tip. Portion yourself because it's easy to overindulge. Hope you enjoyed my ramble about the cruise. Symphony of the Seas Royal Caribbean is the ship that we went on. Take care.